Hey guys, on today's episode we're going to do a tutorial on how we set up our Discoid roach bins. So in front of me I've got a big stack of fresh egg cartons. We're going to move those off to the side. I have a 68-liter Rubbermaid tote here that we're going to make into our bin as we go. This is the lid typically. So normally I cut out this lift part in the middle and I remove that and put 1/4 inch screen, which I have done like this on this one ahead of time because it's time consuming and I didn't feel like doing it for the video. So with this I use Gorilla Tape to hold it on. They don't really go after it, I've noticed, or had an issue with. It looks really clean on the top that way, which I do enjoy. So I'm going to set that aside for now. I'm going to go over here and grab some of our soil. Got some leaves and stuff in it because usually we use isopods. And I like to put a good amount of this, so there's about 2 inches in the bottom for not only the adults to kind of dig through because they are detritivores and pretty much scavenge on everything. The babies also like to burrow in it. And it helps retain a lot more humidity in the enclosure, which we'll get to later on in the video. So these guys are really simple. I think everybody kind of overdoes it for them, typically, from what I've seen in other videos. I just crush up the larger balls of soil that I've gotten in here. Mix things around a bit. I'm gonna take our egg, actually I'm gonna add some water to the one end. I'm gonna take our egg carton and stack these guys on a slight angle. What I do is I put one with the cones the cups facing in and one facing opposite to each other. So there's just more space in the cavity between, and then I continue that on for usually between 6 and 8 panels or until the bin's basically full with them. So this one we're going to do 6, kind of vertical like that, and I leave an opening at the end where I'm going to put food, whether it be vegetables or our roach diet. And then I usually will grab some leaf litter, which, if my camera woman wouldn't mind, can grab me from behind her. I like to add this in just because, again, they are scavengers and they will munch on it, but it's also good for a lot of the babies and things. So I dump that into the open end. Gives a lot more surface area and a bit more of a varied diet. So normally they have lots of space, tons and tons of surface area to go throughout. And normally when I go to do maintenance, I'll pour water at this end and then let the cartons all fall back onto leaning it over that area. So from there, I would typically add my roaches in, but this bin we're setting up ahead of time. So I'm gonna grab some roaches from an older setup. I'm just going to set the lid behind me here. Okay, so we have our other roach bin here. I'm gonna throw some gloves on before we get too far into here. As you can see, the Gorilla Tape does sort of let go over time, but it's not fully letting go. And there's no escaping these, thankfully. Just gonna toss some gloves on quickly. So I'm just gonna take some of these guys and I'm just going to treat them just like crickets. Just gonna take it, knock them off in their new setup. Like the person at your local pet store would do with crickets. I'm gonna take some more, They're gonna get the same treatment. And we're gonna knock some more in, just to give it a kickstart. So we have around 9 or 10 of these bins going at any given time. I'm gonna give both bins some of our roach diet. These bins are quite tall on my table. And I just kind of sprinkle that throughout the drier end of the enclosure on both sides. It is a very dry food, so you want to make sure that you're also supplementing with vegetables and things like that for hydration typically. But aside from that, there we have it, guys. Nice fancy roach bin setup. We also use heat pads on the one side, on the moist side typically, to keep the humidity higher for them. And we keep them around between 90 and 96 on the thermostat. So the warmer you keep them, the better they're gonna do.